Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I am Jesse Dollemore. I'm here because, a few months ago, I bumped into David at a hipster coffee shop. I think it was in LA. And he came up to me and he said, "Listen, Jesse, you're a big, strong guy. Why won't you guest host for me when I go on vacation?" And I said, "Sure." So here I am. My name is Jesse Dollemore. I host a YouTube channel and a show daily called The Dollemore Daily. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and Threads and all the places that are social media. I'm at Dollemore. And if I'm your flavor of political commentator on top of David, I would appreciate if you look me up. Look, let's talk about something that is kind of near and dear to my heart. Not in like a fondness way, but in a religious tradition way. I grew up in northern Idaho for the large chunk of my life, my formative years, if you will, I guess is the saying. And I was raised by ultra-conservative parents who adhered to a radical version of Christianity, a nonsense conservative version of Christian nationalism, that everybody should be Christian, the country should be run by Christians. We are at our core a country that was created by God, given to us, to the founding fathers, for our posterity's sake. A lot of this is wildly ahistorical, but I was raised looking up to prophet types. I was raised in a household, this doesn't need to be a bio or anything, but I was raised in a household I was taught to revere people like Kenneth Copeland, the near billionaire who's always wanting people to buy him a new plane. I looked up to people like Oral Roberts, who said that if you don't give all this money to me, God's going to kill me. And then, he just, I think, died of natural causes. God didn't kill him. Years and years later, by the way. But there's a new crop of these types of MAGA prophets. I'm using that term wildly loosely. Julie Green is one of them. Hank Kunneman is another one. We're going to talk about them today specifically, but there's a host of others. It's a veritable network of these goofs who are grifting their audiences with treats, little treats of prophecy of what is going to come to pass that just so happens to line up with what their particular political persuasion is, that just so happens to support the candidacy or the extricating from trouble, legal trouble in this case, of Donald Trump. First, I'm going to play this one from Julie Green, that just came about a week ago. She said this, and then we're going to talk about Hank Kunneman, whose all kinds of prophecies have failed. And he's saying now he doesn't have to apologize because Jesus told him not to apologize for all of the prophecies that he's gotten wrong. First, Julie Green.
Pelosi, you will hear this name once again. Nothing is how it seems with her. And soon you will find out the whole truth. Jack Smith, truth is coming for you and the things you never thought that people would find out about you. I have whistleblowers that will wipe out this indictment and boomerang back to you. These are the days of Haman, and many people are about to find out who are the Hamans and who and what their final outcome is about to be.
First of all, not really related to this, but why is she reading like she's Ron Burgundy? You know what I mean? Like, and soon you will find out the real truth. It's like a bad audition for a newscaster or something. But listen, I don't know what the exact wording of the saying is, the phrasing of it is, but it's like you know that you're God, that you're on the wrong track when your God just so happens to hate all of the same things that you do. When your God works in tandem with your particular flavor of bigotry. And that's what we're seeing here. That she's making prophecies about Nancy Pelosi, who's not even speaker anymore. These people just can't let go, constantly talking about Hillary Clinton years and years and years later. But Jack Smith, truth is coming for you, as she uses her religion as a cudgel to level threats against the special counsel. the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, truth is coming for you, and things you never thought that people would find out about you. Apparently, see, this is in this faith, she's reading what God told her. She's reading verbatim the message that she got from Jesus on the bat phone. That should be a red flag for anybody, right? I have whistleblowers. This is God talking through Julie Green. I have whistleblowers that will wipe out this indictment and boomerang back to you. So it's the I'm rubber, you're glue message from Jesus. Who knew that God was so not omniscient that he needed whistleblowers? I mean, if it was this important, wouldn't God take whatever form was necessary? Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe God is going to appear, flash once again in human form as a whistleblower to defend Donald Trump. And the days of Haman, if you don't know, in the book of Esther, Haman was dedicated to the prospect of destroying the Jews in Persia. So she's equating Donald Trump and all of this to Old Testament storytelling. She's another one, by the way, that has gotten it wrong. Well, she's never gotten it right. Every one of her prophecies falls right on its face because she is a liar and a grifter. But there are the problem with this is, I know a lot of you have probably already clicked off, maybe. You're welcome, David. A lot of people don't understand why this is important, and that is because she has an audience. She has an audience that hangs on her every word, believing she's truly a prophet of God. Another one of these self-proclaimed prophets is Hank Kunneman, who has said Donald Trump would be reelected. He said Donald Trump would be reinserted into the presidency. He said Donald Trump would not be indicted. Every one of his prophecies just doesn't come true. And he's been criticized by this. And apparently some of the criticism is bothering him because now he's saying, well, I'm not going to apologize, but it's not for the reason you think. It's because Jesus said not to. Watch this.
That's why this man hasn't been opening his mouth, because Jesus said, don't do it. I went to my fathers. I went to my spiritual mothers. I went to my board. I went to my peer level relationships and said, hey, there's a lot of calling out going on and my name's getting thrown out there. What do I do? Jesus told me not to say anything. They said, follow what Jesus said. You're right on. And not only that, we're your accountability system. And they told me not to address it. And so don't keep asking me to take the lead. I've honored Jesus. I've done what he said. And I honored those that I'm accountable to, submitted to.
So apparently he's saying, I'm not wrong. Jesus was wrong. And Jesus doesn't want to take credit for being wrong. And he told me, what did he say? Jesus told me not to say anything. It's got to be tough for a man who stands behind the pulpit every weekend and preaches to the flock to not say anything. I guess it's only when you're called out for being wrong and being a liar and a grifter, right? Hank Kunneman. Anyway, these people are dangerous. This is important. Even if you don't necessarily identify, if you don't understand why it's important, you need to know that it is because of the fact that there are millions of people in this guy's audience, at the very least, in his potential audience, people who share this faith tradition and revere these types. It's only going to get worse before it gets better.